Hello there, welcome back to our show. Today I'm going to talk about 3 new recent releases in the cinema, of all places. So it's Mickey 17, there's Presents, and there's Black Bag. 2 of which are from Steven Soderbergh, and the other one's from Bong Joon-ho. So it's a high class or tourist video. And basically I was quite lucky because usually in my local area we get nothing beyond the blockbusters and have to wait till to digital before you can get anything really good, because usually it's if you're looking for a Marvel film you're good, if you're looking for anything like Disney or Warner's, the basic stuff, you're good, but usually you get nothing beyond that. it's I live in a backwaters basically. So I know some filmmakers complain about the digital, people think about it in digital just after the cinema release. But if you live where I live, that's good, because you guys can see things quite quick compared to, if you live in the city, you'll see everything straight away, but anywhere else you'll see them like months later. So there is an upside and downside to everything, really. And basically, it takes away for some of the kind of prestige of a movie, but also means more people can see it quickly. So that's the basic thing there. So, but actually, because Mickey 17's a Warner's film, we got it over here too. And for some reason, Black Bag came over here too, maybe because it was Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender starring in it. But it came over to my local cinema as well, which surprised me. Presents has been out a month or two, and it has hit that digital after thing, so I could watch it with a projector. But it still is quite good for someone like me who just doesn't live near anywhere that shows films that are to my taste. So I managed to get some good films early, or earlier than normal. So I'm going to talk about them. So I'll start with Mickey 17, since that's the one non-Steven Soderbergh film. And it is his Bong Joon-ho's big post-Oscar film. He won the Oscar for Parasite, and it was like, okay, you can do whatever you want. And, any director worth their salt will use that to make that weird film that no one would finance otherwise. Or if a director had a big hit or two and thought, okay, I'll just do my weird film. Now, in my What the Hell Is This, I'm going to show another example of that went completely wrong. But in this one, Mickey 17 went right. It's not for everybody. There are some people who don't like this film. They think it's too weird. But it's from this director who does films that are a bit strange and over the top. And he mixes comedy with drama, and it's like, that's just his style of filmmaking. You just have to live with that. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but so what? And then really, it's not your money that's getting spent in the film, so why get too bothered about it? I, for one, am very happy this film exists, because it is strange, and it is kind of film that normally would either get made for very little money with terrible effects, or would be written as a script and never made by a studio. What happened was the studio bought the rights to this film called Mickey 7, and they sent it to Bong Joon-ho, and he was like, usually he says he never, everything the people sent to me always says no to, because he's never that interested. But this is the one time he actually saw something and thought, oh, that's quite a good idea. So he read the book and thought, I can do some of this. Now, apparently the book and film are different. One's called Mickey 7, one's Mickey 17. They adjusted quite a bit for the film. So basically took the idea and took a lot of the setup and then did his thing with it. And you can tell it's an auteur-ridden made film because there's so much eccentricity and things that no other director would put in. It's the same way if you watch a Kubrick film, there's certain things in there that you'd never see anyone else do. There's certain things certain directors do, and that's it, that's their thing. And so Warner's, because it was their property and they wanted to get this Oscar-winning director. They said, okay, we'll give you the money. And they also had Robert Pattinson ready to go. He'd just come off Batman, which was a big hit, and he was keen to work with the director. So that kind of weird mix of these people made this weird project suddenly financeable at a certain level, really. The other film I'm going to talk about late in another video, which is the same thing as this, where the directors could do whatever they wanted, had a much bigger budget level, and it killed them. This one had a budget to do the film and no more, and that really helped because it means that it was sort of locked down to what it had to be, rather than, oh, can we do this as well, can we do that? No, it's you're doing this film, that's it. So it's a story of cloning. Basically, in this world, people are now moving off of Earth. Earth's become this place that's been corrupted. Everyone's worst instincts are there to see. You've got lots and lots of dodgy people, lots of people who are, stupid, like Mickey, and lots of hustlers, and things have gone wrong. And so Mickey, who having his power on a run from these loan sharks, to get a loan for something that was a stupid idea in the first place, and they decide to go to join this ship that gets them off world so they can escape from this loan shark who's out to kill them at this point. And basically his pal gets in and has just a dog's body because he's intelligent. Mickey is a dummy, and so what he does is he signs up for the expandable program, where basically what happens is you become expandable. Basically, you're recloned every time you die, and you're sent out to do all these horrible tasks. Like, if you need to check out the resistance to the human body from radiation, you send Mickey out and he dies, and you get the test results prove you're his body. And you just print him out again and do another one, and print him out again to do something else. So by the time we get to the film, he's now number 17, and he's kind of dumb, sweetly dumb. He's got a girlfriend who loves him for who he is, really. She's smart, he's not, and he's just looked down upon by everybody. It's like he's just pure bastard. He just does all the horrible job that no one else wants to do, and everyone knows he's stupid, and so he has no respect, just nothing. And Pattinson's having a ball playing this guy who's not very bright. I mean, to put it on a level you might understand, he's the level of Baldrick from Blackadder, level stupid. That's how dumb he is. And apparently that was different from the book. Apparently in the book he was smarter, but in the film it's much funnier if he's just dumber. So, out on a mission, when they land this planet, he's in with this religious cult who are led by Mark Ruffalo and his wife, who are very Trumpian figures, and they've got the Bible in their hand with all these rules, and this guy lost political power, and he's going to take over this new world, even though it's a world full of snow. So he's going to do this absolute hellhole so he can say, I'm the ruler of this planet. He's got that small, and that big an ego and small self-confidence. He's got that kind of lunacy of a Trump. So they go to this planet, use Mickey to test out the air and all the rest of it. They find out all the diseases. They manage to get inoculated because of Mickey, and then they send him out to do the different tests and find out if there's any aliens, because this planet was meant to be uninhabited. It's not. There are creatures there, and the creatures are, non-verbal for human beings. Because human beings are stupid, they think that non-verbal means dumb, rather than they don't talk the same language. Now, scientists are actually working on how to be able to communicate with them, because they start to realise certain patterns that could be a different language they don't understand. So the idiot ones think that they can't speak. The smarter ones say, no, it's just a different communication language, we'll sort it out. Just have some patience and we'll figure it out. But no, because it looks ugly, they have to kill these things. And so Mickey gets stuck in the middle of this war. Also, everyone thinks Mickey has died with the first encounter with these aliens. And he hasn't. They actually rescued him. So when he gets back to the ship, they've already cloned Mickey 18. And Mickey 18 is a printing of Mickey that's not very good because something's went wrong and he's a bit more psycho and a bit crazier and a bit smarter. And so you have two Mickeys who are two very different characters, and basically the rule is if one die of two are printed at the same time, both have to be destroyed. Because you can't have two, because of the religious ramifications, they can't have two. And also the actual brick that holds the memory also has to be destroyed. It's like it's this religious impure thing they've got. The thing about cloning is they'll use it for something, but because they've got religious views on this, they can only use it for this one or two things. So it's having fun with the stupidity and vanity of people generally. And complications happen. Because it's a new film, I won't go into complications, but it deals with the aliens, it deals with these rules, it deals with these religious lunatics and their views, and the different views of these different people who are all on this ship to move to a new planet. And it's basically humanity in an arc, is what it is. We're into this new world, and how do they survive, and who sticks to the rules and who doesn't, and who's a liar. And there's lots of shades of grey, and there's lots of dark humour. And in the middle of it is Mickey, who remains an idiot, who can't figure out basic things that would have solved a lot of problems, who gets thrown into all these plot lines, including his old friend who's trying to kill him. And it's just lots of weird stuff going on. But it all comes together. It all works together because instead of being a thriller about what will happen next, it's a story about humanity and what we do to survive. The messiness of what we do to survive. The craziness of what happens as we try and survive. That's what the film's about. And it's going to turn people off, because a lot of people go in and think this is going to be a thriller. It's not a thriller, it's a comedy. It's a comedy about human beings that has a sci-fi veneer. But basically it's about human beings in a tough situation and the kind of horrible things we do to each other. You know. And from our various pretensions, our various ways of abusing rules, our various ways of being callous to each other. This film has a lot of humour but at the expense of Mickey, about how callous human beings can be. And it feels very accurate to human beings in this situation, which shows like if we go out to the planets, we're still going to have the same problems we had on the planet. And it just shows on the planet the problems are overpopulation, craziness, ego. That comes from Earth, and it comes about, and these aliens have to deal with these lunatics who have all these weird pretensions of grandeur, even though they're just morons mostly. It's meant to be this like religious vessel, but there's massive drug abuse. They say do not have sex. Everyone's having sex. Women are here to reproduce. One of these characters are lesbian. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's just like what you say is going to be then what the reality is two different things altogether. So it's a wonderful film. I mean, the only downside I think is the end's a bit anticlimactic, because if you're not going to do the thriller thing, or you're going to do it but have a mocking tone to it, it means when you get to the end of the stakes, they're not going to be so powerful. But even that has its advantages when you find out what's actually happening is different from what you thought was happening. There's some fun things with people's motivations, but it means it works less the thriller, more about human beings and how screwed up they are. So if you're looking for a do thing, it's not that. It's about people evolving, and two people who have the same DNA but are different. So this is a wonderful film. It's very eccentric, so I can see why some people don't like it, but I thought it was great. So go watch it. Now I'm going to Presents, which is a Soderbergh film, one of two. So it's unusual. Only Soderbergh would have two films out almost at the same time, because he had a tendency to just keep making films and they come out whenever they come out, but he tends to make the film, it's finished, and then he goes to the next one, and then the distributors figure out when to release it. So he made Presents, then he made Black Bag. They were shot individually, they were not back to back, it was just like Presents took a while to come out. Black Bag is the bigger budget film. Presents is like a minute budget film, because Soderbergh can go from big budget to slow budget with ease. Even when he was doing the Ocean films, he was doing things like Bubble and things like that, which were very low budget. So he just goes for whatever the budget is needed for a film. He's not like inflating a budget for a film, or, you know, doing a film for less than it needs. He does the films what they need to be made for. So The Presence is a ghost story. It was written by David Koepp, whatever, who's done stuff with Brian De Palma, he's done stuff with Soderbergh. He's done stuff with a lot of directors, he's done stuff with Spielberg. He's one of those writers who tend to... He has directed some stuff of his own, some of it's better than others. And he's a known writer who's worked on, like, he wrote Death Becomes Her, which is his first big film. He wrote Carlito's Way, he wrote Jurassic Park 1 and 2, and then this new one. He's written Spider-Man films and things like that. He kind of... But he works in certain films. Some critics don't like him, some critics do like him. Some say he's bland, some say he's not. But he's done a lot of films I like, and he's done some films I don't like. He's had a career, you know. But he does tend to work with certain directors again and again. Like, certain directors seem to like working with him. Like, Spielberg obviously brings him in when he needs help in a script. He's one of those writers he brings in when a script's not working. De Palma has worked with him plenty of times with Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, Snake Eyes. And De Palma's generally worked. I'm thinking of other things that they tried to do that didn't come out. You know, Soderbergh's worked with him a few times as well. He's a writer who he wrote Panic Room. So he's a writer who keeps working. So Soderbergh had this idea, which was only a few pages, and he gave it to Koepp, and he wrote the script. And the film was made for $2 million. So it was made pretty much one location, because his idea was a ghost, from the ghost point of view, in this house. And you're watching the people in the house as the ghost, following them as the ghost. So it's a very simple thing, so it's a ghost point of view of a situation. Now this has been done before, a ghost point of view. But this one you don't see the ghost at all. You're seeing the point of view of the ghost. You never see the ghost. You never see any hands, any creepy stuff. It's just the point of view. Supernatural things happen as the film goes on, but it's really about this family who have moved into this house, and they may have overextended themselves to do so. So it's a multiracial house. So the father's white, the mother's Asian, so the kids are a bit of both, but they're American kids, they're normal American kids. The son's an overachiever, he's a swimmer, he's got a lot of ego. The daughter has had 2 friends die recently, and she's more sensitive. So the father's closer to the daughter, and the mother's closer to the son. The mother's a go-getter, and she's a son is just another version of her. While the father is much more sensitive, and he sees the struggles his daughter's going through, so he's much closer to her. So they tend to take sides. Like, the father obviously has issues with the way the son acts, and the mother thinks the daughter is oversensitive and she just has to get on with it. So you've got the tensions there, but also you've got the kids who are basically teenagers who behave like teenagers, which is like, they think they know more than they do. They are many adults, they do things that are stupid, ultimately, but it's just a learning process. I mean, if you know any teenagers, or anyone just above teenage years, they do stuff that's stupid. And it's just part of life. And I'm sure everybody who watched them do something stupid wish I hadn't done that, but you probably need to do it to learn anything. So it's that kind of thing that's, it's just life. And So you're watching them go through these struggles. The brother has this friend who's very popular, who he brings over, and the friend and the daughter bond, and they start to have sex when the parents are not in, and this friend looks much more sensitive than the brother, and but then you see things with the friend it's a bit dodgier, like he tries to drug the daughter for some reason, and it doesn't work out, and slowly realise this guy's like a danger in the family, and family's also other problems. Like the mother's obviously got some legal issues about what she's done in her company. The father's trying to work out how to deal with that, and should he deal with that since it's not really his. He never did anything. But will it come down to him as well if she's problems? He's also trying to deal with the daughter and try and make his wife more sensitive. Then you realise there's something off the house as well. So it becomes this thing about the problems of the family within this house. And it's one of those films that either love or hate, because it does not do the horror things. There's no dark, creepy music. There's no, like, most of the film takes place in daylight. It's the point of view of the ghost, so the ghost is never. So you see the other people as the alien figures, not the ghost. And it's a study of these people who think they're not being seen, but they are being seen. And the idea of what is this ghost, like, what does it pertain to, like, what happened to it, and everything kind of comes together in a satisfying way, which makes you reevaluate the whole film. But I'm not going to say why, obviously, because it's a new film. But it's really well done. It's an extremely well done film, but it requires patience. You have to have patience because it's not doing the traditional stuff. The dialogue is not soap opera-ish the way a lot of horror films kind of dialogue is very on the nose, and just in case you're stupid, this is what the scene's really about type of thing. No, people talk the way they would normally talk, which is they leave things hanging, they wander off from one room to the other, don't deal with their problems, frustrate other people, all of that, and you're watching it, you can be involved, see, because what the hell's the matter with you? And there's that thing going on throughout it, and it's like that's the horror of the film, is sort of like Crimson Peak, where the horrors are human beings, not the ghost. And it's what human beings can do. And even the kind of creepy weirdo guy, you see his motivations and you see how dark he actually is. But it's like there is a kind of human element to everything. Like in any film, the mother would be the villain because the way she acts is horrible throughout. But in this one, no, she's a person who's flawed. And in the other one, the father would be the hero. But no, he's a flawed character too. You're more sympathetic to him, but he is a flawed character. The daughter would be pure in a traditional film, and here no, she sleeps with a guy she shouldn't, and she makes lots of mistakes. The son is a total dick for most of the film, and he doesn't really change much. So it's a frustration of people who are just being themselves and who are flawed. So it's a wonderful film. Go watch it. Finally, we have The Black Bag, which is the hardest film to talk about of the three because it is a thriller. The whole thing is, Michael Fassbender is this guy who's viewed as one of the smartest guys in British intelligence. He's like one of the geniuses who they send in when there's a problem to figure out what's actually happening. He's not like a muscle guy. He's a guy who works on motivations. He does the research, works on motivations, and slowly goes towards what the issue is. So people are scared of him. He's like that kind of character. People like having him around, but they don't want to be too close to him because he might spot some of their bullshit. He's that kind of weird thing. And Kate Blanchett plays his wife, who's also a spy, and she's more in the field. She's more social. She's more she's very observant, but she hides it. Like, she's spotting a lot more than she'll let on she's spotting. She obviously has issues from her job, but she's good at her job. And there's basically a guy comes to Fassbender, who's also a spy, says he's for information, someone's trying to steal this thing called Severance, which is a very, it's a computer program that can cause problems in nuclear facilities and could be used by people to cause mass deaths. And there's a suspicion that someone in British intelligence is trying to sell it to a foreign national. And it's one of these 5 people, which includes his wife, is one of the 5 suspects. So he has to figure out who it is. Is it his wife, or is it one of the other 4 people who are in various levels of intelligence? Like, one's a shrink who may have information from what people have told her. One's a computer expert who seems minor compared to the others, but she works on things no one else understands. There's a guy who's on the up as a new young person who's on the rise, and then there's a guy who is on the rise but has his issues, and he's a bit of a drunk and a bit of a womanizer, and he's a very flawed person. So it's one of these 5 people is the person selling the information. And it's like, okay, who is it and why? And that's what he has to figure out. So his first thing is to invite them all to have a dinner party and spike the meal so that people loosen up. So they're all slightly drugged. And then from then on, you see his tactics as he tries to manipulate people to try and figure out who the villain is. But obviously he has an issue with his wife because he loves his wife and he's pretty sure it's not her. But you know, there are signs it could be her. Now, I figured out who the villain was pretty quickly in this film. I'm going to admit, I figured it out pretty quickly. I didn't know how this person was doing what they're doing, which was part of the joy of the film, watching how it all kind of worked out. And it all does come together in a nice way. But I kind of figured out who it was. But I was willing to think, this is my guess who it is. I could be wrong. But it turns out I wasn't. But the way it's figured out is satisfying. So I'm not sure how great the mystery is because I figured out the villain even though I didn't figure out all of the details, but there was enough of the way stories are built traditionally that I could figure certain things out. There's still enough surprises to keep me going though. So it was and things, even if you figure out like who the villain is, it's watching all the machinations of because the villain is smart too and is doing things that are complicated, that it keeps you on your feet. You know, like Fassbender's character is not perfect. He does make mistakes. He can, even though he's a master manipulator, he can be manipulated too, which he's aware of. And how it works out the marriage thing is very satisfying. How he works out the spy stuff is very satisfying. All the characters are enjoyably written so that all the actors involved in the film all get their moment to shine. It's a film where Michael Fassbender's almost like he's the lead, but he's also like the host to all these other actors having their scenes. So he's kind of quiet, so he has less of the explosive energy everyone else has, but he's always on screen. Everyone else is on and off to have their moment. But it's a really well made film, and it's completely different from Presence. Presence is almost like the anti-version of this, where it's like, it doesn't give you all those clues. In this film, it's giving you all the clues, but done in a very good way, and very clear way, and precise way, that you figure out what you know in each scene, but it's done as a movie. But it's not done in an obvious way, but you're figuring things out. So this is almost like a very movie. Well, Presence is a very indie movie. So, and it's funny how I directed kind of both of those films out, like pretty much next to each other, even though basically one came after the other, but they're both the same writer and the same director. David Cope also wrote Black Bag, but this was a script he wrote himself and then gave to Soderbergh. And basically it's like a team, and you see the range of what they can do through 2 films as like back to back. So it is very enjoyable to see these. I saw these both on the same day, so I got to see the kind of, you know, how different they actually were. But again, it wasn't meant to be a double bill. It was just like, well, that's what happened with the distribution. So, Presents did a lot better than expected. Black Bag seems doing okay. It's a medium budget film that will probably do well. It'll probably do decently well in the box office, and then will probably do pretty well like on streaming. Because, well, it's nice to see it in the cinema. You don't need to see it in the cinema. It's a plot-heavy film. So, whether you see it, it'll be a good, fun film. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go and see all 3 of these films, because they're all good. And I'll be back soon with another one. Bye for now.